How many times have you heard or can you imagine in a boardroom somewhere where a small group of leaders are thinking through how are we going to solve this problem? So in regards to just community, the problem that we're talking about, the social problem we're talking about is maternal mortality and infant mortality. In Indianapolis, it's more likely, if you're a black woman with a PhD, you're more likely to die than a white woman who doesn't have a high school education.
Welcome to Six Pillars in Action, a podcast that takes you inside the work, the people, and the purpose behind one of the most meaningful investments in African American communities right here in Indianapolis. In each episode, we sit down with leaders, partners, and change makers connected to the Indianapolis African American Quality of Life Initiative to talk about what's happening, why it matters, and how real transformation is taking shape across our city. Whether you're a community member, an organization doing the work, or someone who simply wants to understand how change happens, this conversation is for you.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Six Pillars in Action podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Douglas, and here on this podcast, we have the opportunity to take an in-depth look at the incredible work of the IAA-QLI, or the Indianapolis African American Quality of Life Initiative. Today, we are super excited to be here with Nicole Carey, one of the grantees for the program, and to talk about Just Community, Inc. Super excited to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell us one about yourself.
Okay. So Dr. Nicole Carey, I am the founder and executive director of Just Community, Inc., among other things. Born and raised here in Indianapolis, mom of 5. I care a lot about our community, care deeply about education. I serve on the Indianapolis Public School Board, and I started this organization not because I know anything about doula care or the community, but because I was pushed towards this work and feel very, very called to draw our community's attention to the things that, for years and years and years have been a problem, and people think that they know what the solution is, but in reality, our community knows what the solution is. We just need to be resourced, and so that is what I am pushed towards.
First of all, I did not know you had 5 kids. So, oh my God.
That was a life choice.
That is amazing. Well, I got 4, so I can't talk. Listen, I'm one short. But how is that though? Is that huge? Does that play a huge role in your inspiration?
Absolutely. It's a journey every day. They keep it spicy every single day. My oldest is 15. She just turned 15 2 days ago, and having a teenage girl, is a journey in and of itself. Yes. But all of their stories are different, and so I get the privilege of being able to walk alongside them, and figuring out that is enough of a calling, I feel like, for a full life. And so being able to put that experience back into the community is just icing on the cake, I think.
Yeah. I loved what you said too about the community having the solutions. And there's this quote from a community leader out here who I love, but he said everybody thinks they're the solution, and they're just a solution. And I love that because it just acknowledges that there's a whole, array of things that we need that could be a solution. But there isn't this one thing fits all. And I feel like that's something that I've enjoyed about learning more about this IAQLI in the grant process and things, the way that they've worked through these pillars is just acknowledging we need so many different things. And it's nice to see, folks come in and oh, well, this is my piece of the solution. I love that. So tell us more about Just Community, Inc. What do you guys do? How it came about?
Yeah, so, I can just start where you left off there. How many times have you heard or can you imagine in a boardroom somewhere where a small group of leaders are thinking through how are we going to solve this problem? So in regards to Just Community, the problem that we're talking about, the social problem we're talking about, is maternal mortality and infant mortality. In Indianapolis, it's more likely, if you are a black woman with a PhD, you're more likely to die than a white woman who doesn't have a high school education. And we are third worst in the nation for maternal mortality, regardless of race. Our infant mortality is not that much better. You know, we're towards the bottom of the nation. And so our babies deserve to get to their first birthday. Our moms deserve to be loved and cared for and survive what should be an easy experience. And so for me, having 5 kids, it set me on this journey. I was very prepared. I'm a very prepared person. So I found out I was pregnant for the first time, and I decided I'm going to learn all the things I can about being pregnant. And I came across this documentary called The Business of Being Born. And it was about how the hospitalization or the medicalization of childbirth has become very problematic. And so interventions that may not be necessary. And so anyway, my 20-something-year-old mind was just like, they're not me. They're not going to do that to me. And so I advocated for myself. I interviewed OBs and what's your C-section rate and
I love that.
things. And so I felt like I was everything that I needed.
Yeah.
So many black women have to have that experience anyway in different circumstances where we have to advocate so strongly for ourselves. So first, and I ended up finding an amazing OBGYN and having really great birth experiences for my first 3. Had my people in the room, my sister, my friends, my aunties, and it was great. And then baby number 4, it was 2020, and you weren't allowed to have anyone in the room. And someone recommended I hire a doula because they were still allowing doulas, and I didn't really know what a doula was or did.
Yeah.
But it was terrifying for me to just have the thought of just having my one person in the room. And so I hired a doula and realized it was such a transformational experience for me that it was a realization that maybe I can advocate for myself, but I also can just let my community take care of me.
Yeah.
And that I deserve that. I deserve to have a moment of calm, and I don't have to fight for myself. And what's supposed to be the most, sacred and vulnerable time of a woman's experience, of a woman's life, she's supposed to have her community around her. So anyway, all that to say, it was very transformational to me. And my doula asked, well, how can I get more funding so I can serve more women who don't have the privilege of being able to pay for me? And she undercharged by far for all that she did for me and my family. She definitely didn't charge us enough money. So my business mind was like, first of all, you need to be charging more money. Yeah. And second of all, I can write a grant proposal. So why don't we talk about, an initiative where you can teach others to doula the things the way that you do them, and we can figure out how to fund this work for our community. And that's where Just Community came from.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. I'm not going to stay on it long, but obviously I've had 4 kids and I'm a black woman in this community. So it's been tough because I was preeclamptic for my first 3. And I'm one of them women that was like, man, I was so sad. So I had my last baby in 2017. So it was before like the real big push for doulas and stuff and getting educated about them and stuff. So I'm so jealous of y'all. One, that y'all got to have that in the room with you. But I was grateful later on in my last 2 pregnancies. I had a really, really great OBGYN, and so that helped a ton. But I love that you guys are providing those services and making sure that people can have those advocates in the room. I don't think people understand, like, for a mom, like, how chaotic that moment is. Like, your body is doing something miraculous. Yes. And you're also expected to like make the decisions and think straight about the things, and everybody in the room is just excited that a baby's being born, but there's like so many other things happening at the same time. It's very overwhelming.
And let me tell you one more thing that might make you a little more jealous. So we think about doula care, we think about being in the room. Yeah. But my doula was also a postpartum doula, and so for about 6 months she came over. She got my husband all the way together. It's like, this is what you need to be doing. She prepared meals for me and my whole family for weeks and weeks.
I love that.
from her garden, fresh ingredients, like comfort food, but healthy comfort food. It was a blessing.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Not because we couldn't do it, but just because she wanted to care on our family.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. So what did you see in the IAQLI that really made you see like alignment with what you guys were trying to do and then what you needed funding for?
Well, to go back to the topic of my doula was not charging enough money. What I came to find out, because when we started off with a needs assessment. So we interviewed a lot of community members. We interviewed doulas, asked them how they were surviving, how they were functioning. There were different kinds of doulas, so many different kinds of doulas, and some work in a hospital, some work independently, some work in a hybrid model. So we found out a lot of information, and one of the things that I found was that there were so many doulas that work for free because the community that they want to serve, well, it's not covered by insurance, or it's not, it's seen as a luxury. It's seen as something that's just far out of reach or unnecessary. And so one of the things that I really wanted to do was to wrap around doulas and provide them a pathway to a livable wage, a sustaining wage. And so when the IAQLI came out, we wanted to focus on that employment pillar.
Yeah.
Because what a blessing it is to have a doula, and we wanted to have more that felt like they could dedicate their time and their lives to actually their calling, as opposed to working 2 and 3 jobs just so that they have the privilege to be able to be a doula.
Right. So, and how have you seen this now that you guys you've gotten the money, you've been able to do the things, like how have you guys been able to see that show up in like people's lives? Like how have people been impacted by this investment?
Oh, there's a lot of different ways. So, I mean, if you just think about the basic numbers, we've had about 30 new doulas come through our certification program just with this funding, that have finished the core curriculum and that are now serving families. But on top of that, with this funding, we've been able to serve over 100 women who have been pregnant and be in their births, in their pregnancy journey and postpartum, and seen the outcomes from that, positive results of women just feeling empowered, women feeling the opportunity to be more in community with other Black women, which is not always it's not always easy to find.
Yeah.
One thing that was not in our application, but we found it was a need, was that there are so many doulas that have already been certified, that have already gone through their journey, but there's no community for them to grow with. So as far as professional development. And so we created multiple opportunities and didn't just invite our cohort of trainees, but any doula in Indianapolis that wanted to participate. And I would say overwhelmingly about 90% or so are Black women that have gone to our simulation labs at Franciscan Hospital. So they'll get into a labor and delivery room and practice different scenarios with nurses. That was another thing that really came up that we weren't expecting, but the relationship between L&D nurses and doulas is not traditionally the most positive. And so there was kind of this adversarial relationship between the two. And so we were working really hard to present opportunities for the doulas and for the hospital staff at all of the different hospitals to interact with the doulas, to get to know each other. Because once you know somebody and you understand and you have mutual respect for each other, then you can just focus on the mutual mission of taking care of that mom and taking care of that baby.
Yeah.
So that's been really positive. I would say also doulas themselves, because it's an independent business, right? So you go to school and you can you start your own organization to provide doula services. If you are in the market of serving Black women, or trying to find the small percentage of Black women in Indianapolis that have the dispensable income to be able to afford a doula, then it's really competitive.
Yeah.
And so the market for doula care wasn't the most cohesive, it wasn't the most inviting. And so to be able to bring a cohort, a collective Black women together and say, you don't have to really focus on how to find clients. We'll find the clients for you. You can just focus on your practice.
Yeah.
You can focus on growing. You can focus on caring and serving. To see that community come together has really been a blessing as well.
Yeah, I bet. And I'm sure, so like through this process, has there been more partnerships you guys have been able to build as well?
Oh, absolutely. I love to be able to show the power of collective and the power of community, because we live in this society where it's competition and it is individualistic, this mentality. And it's just, if two nonprofits are doing the same thing, then, they can't work together. And that's just not how it's been. That's not how it's happened. And so we've been able to find all of the organizations that are providing the same service and say, well, how can we support your doulas, or how can we support your organization financially in order for you to do what you do in excellence, so that we can lift up our community together.
Yeah.
And just that disposition has been, I think, somewhat surprising to folks, and the reception has been really welcoming. And so I've been excited to be on that journey with the city.
I think people are always surprised by that, because they talk about how much we work in silos. I hear that so much, but I think so that it makes people a little surprised how receptive folks are to partnership when it comes, because we partner more than not with other community serving organizations, because unfortunately the deficits are huge, so there's work for everybody.
Correct.
There's definitely work for everybody. And yeah, I'm always surprised that people, they'll name that as like an initial challenge, but it's like, if you put very little effort into it, you find a lot of receptive folks that really want to build together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So before we go, I want to make sure that if folks are a doula, or if they need a doula, or they want to get connected to your organization, how would they go about doing that?
So I think the easiest way is to go to our website, which is justcommunityindy.org, or you can find us on social media, on Instagram and LinkedIn, or we have our offices at the AMP, so the AMP at 16 Tech on the west side. If our doulas need a place to work, or if our doulas need a place to come and be, it's a great co-working space, and so we allow them to come in when they need, and we're there every day. So, Monday through Friday, I should say, and welcome to have some community members come out and maybe ask questions about the next cohort, or our childbirth classes, or if you know someone who's pregnant, or if you are caring for someone who's recently postpartum, we would love to give you resources for that person.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming today. This is such a good conversation. I love learning more about this. Like I feel like I kind of knew, but not as much in depth as this. So thank you for coming and explaining all of that.
Absolutely. I could talk about this all day.
I'm sure. Well, thank you guys for watching this segment. We will be right back with another guest.
Coming up next on the 6 Pillars in Action podcast, we'll continue our conversation with IAAQLI leaders. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and visit the IAAQLI website to learn more about the incredible work being done and how you can get involved.
Welcome back to the 6 Pillars in Action podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Douglas, and obviously we've had a scene change. So we are at P30, also an IAAQLI recipient. So if you hear some noise in the background, just ignore it. It's people working, people moving around, partnership, collaboration in the Far East Side. But we are back with another segment with Sonia Cook. So she is the founder of Girls Talk Inc. And so I was going to give a little bit about Girls Talk Inc., but I'd really rather you tell us about what is it? How did you found it? And what is it doing in the community right now?
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Girl Talk was established in April of 2016, and it came out of a desire to ensure that girls have a support system, have a non-judgmental environment to kind of talk about some of the challenges and the things that they go through. And that was because as a teen, or preteen, I should say, my mother was just coming out of a domestic violence relationship. And during that time, that's preteen ages when your hormones are changing and emotions are changing. And if you don't have someone there to guide you, tell you everything is going to be okay, this is familiar, this is natural, if you don't have somebody kind of telling you that and affirming you, you will look, you know, in the wrong direction and go the wrong way. And that's kind of what I did. And so I ran into some challenges that really changed the trajectory of my life. And so I decided that when I was able to, I wanted to create, I don't know if I thought about an organization, but I just wanted to create an environment where girls, young girls, teen girls can have a support system, a non-judgmental person that they could talk to that would guide them, hold them accountable, but support them in their journey.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And so Girl Talk was birthed. We started out with our signature 8-week empowerment program, and it has grown 10 years later with our after-school tutoring, free after-school tutoring, our one-on-one and group mentoring, mothers supporting mothers program. Because it's one thing when girls come to us, we build their confidence, we affirm them, we get them to a place of where they feel like, okay, I think I got this.
Yeah.
But then if they have to go back home to an environment where it's still filled with toxicity and trauma, then it's like we have to do it all over again. So we created a quarterly workshop called Mothers Supporting Mothers. And we meet on Fridays. They come, we have some food, we let our hair down, and we just talk about stuff that mamas and sisters talk about, you know. And so we have our career mentorship business internship program for girls 14 and up. We have our Empower Her Academy of Excellence for high school girls, covering life skills, etiquette, civics, and business 101. And after the girls complete those 4 programs, they have to complete a capstone project or a business plan that'll be judged by the instructors. And then they receive a monetary scholarship and a laptop.
Oh, wow.
And then we have our Conversations for Our Daughters, which is a annual symposium that we've been doing for the past 4 years. And it is just a conversation where mothers can share a little bit about themselves with their daughters. Daughters learn, why my mother act like this? Why does she talk like this? Why does she parent like this? And then when mother shares intimate parts to her about her to her daughter, then daughter better kind of understands, okay, this is why mama acts the way she does. But then she also understands herself because she's a piece of mom.
Yep.
And then we have our Thrive project. And our Thrive project is a graduation of our Mothers Supporting Mothers, because we realize that, okay, mothers need an outlet, but they also need some other things. Mental health and wellness therapy, career prep in the form of resume writing, updating, and presentation, etiquette and life skills, home ownership. And so we just started the Thrive Project this year. We have 8 young ladies that is going through the project, and it's probably about a 9-month to a year project, and it's going real well.
Wow.
So, you know, at the end of the day, we wanted to serve girls and moms, because I was a single mom at one time. And it was kind of hard. And so I wanted to give back in a way to where I wanted to give young ladies and mothers what I didn't have.
Yeah.
And that's Girl
beautiful.
Talk.
That's beautiful. So how, like, do you guys serve the whole city?
We serve the whole city of Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Nice. Do you guys have plans to expand?
You know what? We've had some interest in expanding. We have our summer camp starting June 15th. We've done our summer camp thanks to Eli Lilly and the Indianapolis Foundation. We've been doing that for the past 3 years. We are partnering with Legacy and Bloom Foundation, and that's out of Atlanta.
Okay.
We've had some inquiries coming from Florida. So it just kind of all depends, because I want to keep the authenticity of the program. And, you know, and I wanted to stay pure. I wanted to continue to serve wherever we are at. I wanted to serve, because that's what we do.
I mean, I hear you, because I mean, that's we see it. I feel like we see it most tangibly in like restaurants. When the original ownership ain't there no more, you're like, this food don't taste the same.
Exactly, and I'm
You
very
know?
hands-on.
Yeah.
I am very
Yeah.
hands-on day to day. Like, I'm making phone calls, I'm sending out emails, I'm mentoring girls.
Yeah.
Like, I am doing everything, and I love doing it.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to put it in the hands of somebody else and they mess it up, because then I'm like, okay, give it back. You can't have it no more because you don't know how to act. So,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When you saw this opportunity with IAQLI, the grant come through, what kind of alignment did you see between your organization and what they were trying to do?
So Girl Talk, our program outline is education and life skills, because I feel like, yeah, we can mentor all day long. We can empower them all day long. But then what?
Yeah.
Then after that, what next? And we understand that our girls need life skills, but we also know they need education. And so when this grant came up, I was like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity for us to kind of come together and collaborate and see what we can do to increase the likelihood of our girls being successful through college.
Yeah.
And so we decided to do the college prep program with the IQLI partnership.
Okay, and tell us about that program.
So the goal of the program was to educate girls and parents in regards to college opportunities. We saw that in the past probably 5 to 10 years, college entry rates for African American girls had dropped. Mm-hmm. And so we figured, let's try to educate our girls as much as possible. Let's expose them to all the information and resources that are out there so they can make a sound decision when it comes to higher education.
Yeah.
And so that was our goal. And that's what we did. We educated, we were in schools, we were in Shortridge, we made visits and we did workshops at different schools and other organizations like the Y, and we just wanted to make sure that they had everything that they needed. We wanted to make sure that they knew how to conduct themselves in interviews.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that they understood the different types of school loans that they could have access to. We wanted to make sure the parents understood the process so they could walk alongside their daughters, in the Girl Talk case, walk alongside their daughters and feel confident in the decisions that they were making.
I love when organizations like plug that hole, especially even for us as parents.
Yeah.
Like, we always think that this kind of programming is for kids that may be missing something, missing a parent, or a parent's busy or something like that. But it's like, no, my kids have both parents at home.
Exactly.
And let me tell you, the first time I took them to use their debit card, and my oldest son, he was a teenager at the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm outing him a little bit. But he went up to the register and was just like, looking at it, like, what do I do? What's the first? And I wasn't thinking, like, because the way when I grew up, I learned through just watching, and I kind of like absorbed everything. I didn't think about the things that I need to actively teach him.
Yeah. Well, because we're so busy.
Yeah.
You know, when I was growing up, my mother was at home.
Yeah.
My mother was at home. She had her little nail job, but in terms of going to a 9 to 5, she was at home. And so now, 2 parents are working outside of the home, and we get so busy with going to school, working, making sure that the kids have what they need, that we kind of miss out on teaching them the fundamentals.
Yes.
And that's where life skills, that's where we come in to help walk alongside parents and moms, teaching them the life skills. Because you would be surprised at a lot of young people that don't know how to make doctor's appointments, that don't know how to call the number on the back of their debit card and see what their balance is. They just don't know. And that's not a dig at parents. It just goes to show that, you know what, we need this village, and we need one another. And so that's what Girl Talk is here for. We're here to walk alongside you and hopefully echo what you are saying, because we all understand that kids is like, oh, my mama, my daddy, here they go again. But if we're saying the same thing that they're saying, then maybe they may find value in it.
So what was unique about this funding opportunity for your organization? Like, what did this funding allow you to do that you guys wouldn't have been able to do without it?
It allowed us to not only educate the parents with the resources, but it just expanded our reach.
Yeah.
It expanded. We had the funds to expand our reach. We were able to go on a couple of college tours. We were able to rent transportation. Now we have a van, but we didn't have that a year or so ago. So we were able to do that. We were able to kind of help parents if they needed transportation to go places, whether it through gas card or whatever that looked like. But we were able to make sure that we had educators in place. We worked with and contracted with schools here in the city, just in case we have kids that didn't want to leave and go out of state. We contracted with schools here in the city, Ivy Tech, Indiana Tech, and their bursar's office and their college admissions came to us, or sometimes we took the kids on a tour there and they were able to get the information that they needed.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that.
It was good. It was a struggle sometimes, I will say that, but it was good.
So how do you envision, like, sustainability wise? What do you guys envision for the future? Like, how are you guys going to be able to sustain this moving forward?
Well, now we have transportation, so that is good.
Yeah.
And so now we can take the kids on college tours.
Yeah.
We can continue what we started with the IQ Alive because it allowed us to build a foundation. And now that we can build on that foundation, and we still have relationships with those individuals that we initially partnered with throughout that grant, and because of the relationships that we've built, they're happy to come. They're happy to come and talk to our parents. They're happy to come and talk to our girls to let them know this is what we have available for you. So don't forget about us.
Oh, I love
and so
that.
we built relationships, we built a foundation, and now we're able to continue in teaching and providing the resources to the parents that we serve.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You know, outside of, we always hear from the leadership about the partnership aspect, but I love to actually hear that from somebody, from a grant recipient.
You know what we did? I went to Indiana Tech. I also went to Ivy Tech. So we have a board member that's an adjunct provider, as adjunct professor from Ivy Tech.
Yeah.
So she's there. And so we have other relationships at IU, it was IUPUI. It's something else.
It's IU
now.
Indy now.
IU Indy now. And so we built those relationships.
Yeah.
And so they love hopping on a Zoom or coming out to our headquarters in Speedway and just saying, hey, what do you need from me?
Yeah, I love that. So before we get out of here, I want to give you the opportunity. One, you guys are celebrating 10 years. That's a big deal. Yes. Like, so tell us about what you have coming up.
So Girl Talk has gotten to the milestone of 10 years of service to girls and women in the community. We celebrated our 10th anniversary was April the 16th, 2026. And so we are having a 10 years of impact fundraising celebration on Friday, June 12th at the Ritz Charles. You will hear from the girls and the women that we have served. You will see the girls that we have served put on display what they have learned when it comes to communication and self-confidence and leadership. We have a surprise girl-led panel that the girls will interview women in the community. We have a beautiful poet that will come in and paint the picture of empowerment and confidence through her words. We have an amazing band with the Tony Bryant Project featuring Bashiri. We have a silent auction where attendees can bid on and all proceeds go back to Girl Talk. We are basically letting the community know this is what we do. This is what your funds have allowed us to do. And if you want to partner with us in the next decade, you will hear it here tonight.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
So super excited. So, if you want to learn more about our upcoming celebration on Friday, June 12th, go to our website at girltalkindy.org, or you can visit our Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok page at Girl Talk Inc. Indy. So we're super excited.
Thank you so much for being here and
Thank
for
you for
telling us
having
about your
me.
organization. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching today. You can see all of our episodes at IAAQLI on YouTube. You can find us on social media. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. We definitely want to hear from you. And we'll see you next time at the 6 Pillars in Action podcast. Thanks.
Thanks for watching the 6 Pillars in Action podcast. The stories and insights you hear on this podcast are just one part of a much bigger movement focused on improving the quality of life for African Americans throughout Indianapolis. To learn more about the work, the impact, and the organizations helping to drive change, be sure to visit the Indianapolis African American Quality of Life Initiative website, follow IAAQLI on social media, and sign up for the newsletter to stay up to date on the latest news and opportunities. Transformation is happening, and staying connected is one of the best ways to be part of it. We'll see you next time on 6 Pillars in Action.